Hello! Welcome to the
Hi!
Daily Soul Calibur 6 news.
Yay! Hey, I'm supposed to do that.
Oh, but you said I could do it.
Well, too bad. I want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the Daily Azwel news, you guys. I think it says Azwel. I can't tell. I don't have my glasses on. What do you guys see here?
I see motion blur. That's what I see.
Let's
Resident
see.
4 HD.
Hold on. Let me just put my glasses on here. Oh, here we go. It says Azwel. Deeds of humanity.
Actually, can we go back to the blur?
You like the blurred version instead?
Yeah, I can't see his face then.
Poor Azwel.
He's the leader of humanity. Weapon name is Palindrome. Fighting style is practical application of martial philosophy and theory.
We have to mention he's the leader of humanity. He's not the president of the world.
Unlike G or whoever in Super 5?
I'm sure he's some letter of the alphabet.
Maybe M, F, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I like his fighting style. I have no idea what this means.
Neither have I, but I like saying it. Practical application of martial philosophy and theory.
Did I mention his name is Azwel?
Yes.
You did.
3 times now.
And that's important, isn't it, Sectus?
Well, yeah, I mean, Azwel. This, 100% confirms the leak I talked about some weeks ago, but I was already fairly convinced was real. It's super real now, because Azwel, who would guess the name Azwel several months ago as a new character for this game?
Yep. I'll tell you who. Nobody.
I will get to that topic later, but for now we shall look at Azwel in slow motion.
Oh, of course.
Always slow motion. And I shall pause here, because
weapons.
These are the weapons he uses. He'll just summon them at will and just change between them all the time.
That's
With a very deep voice.
I remember my martial artists have swords and shield and that stuff. Stop stabbing my boy! Stop hurting my boy!
Do you guys know who this reminds me of? I hate to say this. Do you know who?
I'll go.
Necrid! He reminds me of Necrid!
Oh. You know...
Right, he's a character.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Maximilian reacted to this trailer recently, and there was also mentions of Necrid whilst they were watching that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, he just summons weapons. Weapons from nowhere. It's like a super Necrid thing.
Oh yeah, that's kind of true.
Seems like Necrid.
So they both cheat, in other words.
I like his voice.
Stop hurting my boy!
He also, as you said, he also reminds me a little bit of Algol, especially with how one arm is Soul Calibration, other arm is Soul Edge-ish.
Yeah. Kind of. Well, I mean, he seems fun. They definitely put a great, unique spin on him, and he's his own character. But it makes me kind of miss Algol because he was kind of cool. Although maybe it's just because he was voiced by Barry that I liked him so much.
I think I'm a little bit disappointed looking at this, because when I first saw him, I thought wizard. I thought he would just be this old guy with a stick summoning gigantic meteors, and that would be his only move. That's what I was hoping for. But
hey, Nikali, what are you doing outside Street Fighter 5?
Oh god, everyone is Nikali in this game.
Why is everyone Nikali?
I don't know.
Oh, that is Nikali.
He's had a rough day, okay. But he seems to be the final boss, maybe of both Libra of Souls and the main story mode, I don't know.
He looks very final bossy.
Though we also know that Inferno will be in the game as a boss. Maybe Inferno is a boss in one mode and this guy is the boss of another mode.
Maybe?
I've heard some people claim that they recognized some of his moves as from other characters, but I haven't been able to do that at all.
I am not well versed enough to point it out either.
By the way, do you guys recognize the melody here? Melody right here?
No.
Maybe it's a little more recognizable if I play it at the normal speed. You don't recognize it?
No.
Doesn't ring a bell for me. I'm not gonna...
Like this bit right there. I don't remember the exact song, but I want to say it's like the one of the boss themes from Soul Calibur 2.
Oh, I'm not really that familiar with the boss themes. I just know Confrontation.
That and Hubris.
But it definitely sounds like one of those songs.
Although I should know that thing, because I remember being stuck on Inferno and Weapon Master mode in Soul Calibur 2 for fucking ages.
I wanted to double check which specific song it was before the podcast, but I kind of forgot to do that.
Oh well.
Oh well. Is there anything else we should look at in regards to this trailer? Look at it in fast motion?
You shall be sacrificed to the human
Sure.
race.
Now he just seems a little OP.
I mean, maybe we should take a look at the 5 or so weapons that he's got. He's got like a shield, several curved swords, some kind of axe, some kind of spear thing.
Got the teleport and the zips.
And then after the fade out, it looks like he's combined Soul Edge and Soul Calibur together, and he's like gotten drunk on their power. So here's the normal weapons.
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of information about the weapons. The battle director for the game tweeted some information, and that was translated by the site Avoid the Puddle.
Sectus.
What?
Remember when we read the Peggy rating for the game? Like the information that came with that?
The ESRB rating, yeah.
Here's the spear. Goodbye.
Well, I think they might have considered Sung Min as weapon to be a spear as well.
That too.
Hmm.
For some reason that also happens.
There's also an axe here, but then again, Astaroth has axe too.
Yeah.
And my axe.
But yeah,
My axe.
it says here that he fights by summoning 3 weapon sets: twin swords, large axe, and spear shield. So these 2 is one set, that's one set, and these 2 are one set.
Wait.
So he's
Spear
Monster
and
Hunter?
shield?
Yeah.
So he's Hilda?
Oh, I don't think Hilda's shield sword counted as a shield.
Wait, it was
Oh,
a
right,
sword?
it's like-
I thought it looked like a spear.
Well, there was
Yeah,
a
it's like
spear
a mini
and
sword
sword.
in the side.
There was
For
no
like her
shield.
faster attacks.
Really? Man, I must... Well... Like I said, I gotta drop the series after 2, so yeah, I'm not the best... bleh.
You missed out on the best female character in the series, Ryman!
Oh.
Moving along.
Yeah,
No, we're staying on this subject for a while, good sir.
There's more information. There's more information. Though I am struggling to make sense of this, I'm just gonna say this one statement as is, and you guys can try to make sense of it.
Okay.
The biggest feature to Azwel is that each weapon set he summons to attack are already generated after, so next time they are used. They will become weapon arts, which is a more powerful version of the attack. It can only be used once with a particular weapon set.
Error. Does not compute. Error.
I think I might just be reading this wrong. I can just copy and paste this so you guys can look at the statement, because I don't... it kind of sounds like either way, like maybe the more he uses a weapon set, then he can activate some kind of special attack with it.
Is that why he goes on the Kali?
Well, I think that's... Well, I'm going to assume that's his soul charge mode, and it's mentioned here that... well, I guess I forgot to copy and paste it, but I want to say I read that he's got... When he's in soul charge mode, he can just use those weapon arts whenever. Yeah, he has no limitation.
Oh boy, he's gonna be fun.
I don't know, that text you copy-pasted just looks like something's lost in translation.
Well, it was originally in Japanese, so maybe it was tricky to translate.
I think like the best idea I can gather from it is like it seems like he's maybe able to only use a specific weapon set for a while, and then he has to like use another one, and then when he kind of like goes through them, he gets stronger with them over time when he like recharges one of the.
I'm gonna officially say that I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna settle for as well.
But I do know that I have some screenshots.
Oh.
So I think this confirms that he has his own story mode thing.
He has his own little office, own little place. And I am actually the voice actor for him. I'm proud to announce this. I have a hypothesis. I believe the evil seed was caused by what is known as the cursed sword, the yin to the yang of the spirit sword, the symbol of the Avalokalization.
Is the coughing part of the script?
I'm very old.
I want to point out that you mispronounced something. You mispronounced evil seed.
All
So,
right. I'm letting you take this one sentence.
I have watched some recent interviews with Okubo, and I noticed something rather unique. So naturally, he speaks in Japanese, and certain words are in English. But I noticed "evil seed" was a little bit different. It was pronounced "evil sperm."
Oh. Oh.
I feel like this changes the entire Soul Calibur plotline. This changes the entire lore.
All right, I'll take it from top. Take two. I have a hypothesis. I believe the evil sperm was caused by what is known as the cursed sword.
That makes it all wrong. That makes it so wrong.
I'm sorry.
Okay, to change topic.
Yes.
There
Go
was, there was someone who noted something interesting, which is that in the E3 story trailer, Maxis says something along the lines of "I will not back down." And then if you go through screenshots, which are in this style with like story sequences and porters talking to each other, there is one line of Maxi where he says that. So I'm willing to assume then that all of this stuff is actually voiced in the game.
Ooh,
Good.
okay.
Very good.
And on that topic,
Please, just please don't be the narrator from Tekken 7 levels of delivery.
Oh god. Did we talk about that during one of our podcasts?
I think we did, because...
I think you brought it up that he was directed to sound like that, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was during a stream or during one of the podcasts.
I think it was a podcast.
Which is
That was baffling. But yeah, I wanted to mention quickly, during one of the interviews recently, Okubo said that the total amount of text they've made for this game is roughly equivalent to what you would expect to see in an RPG.
Oh.
That's a lot.
But yeah, that sounds like there's a lot of lore and text and story in this game.
Lots of stuff to do. Very good. Hello, Nikali.
Yep.
I'll never stop saying that because he really gives off the Nikali vibes.
If these spikes were longer, he would be Algol.
You know, the spiky crystallized arms. I'm getting Soul Calibur 4 vibes here from what little I've seen of that
Soul
game.
Edge, Soul Calibur.
I like that he's Dhalsim now from Street Fighter.
I would like him more if it was just a wizard dude rather than
Aye.
Algol dude.
It, in a way, it kind of makes me just wish they took Alcohol and did more with him. And yes, this is again because of my Barry bias, because god damn, that voice is booming.
When you say more with Algol, I assume more stuff like remove him and add Cassandra to the game, because I'll be okay with that. I was never.
Well,
a
I
big,
mean, that is
Algol
also
fan.
very acceptable. That is actually very acceptable.
I think I'm especially bitter because I can remember one of the very last character reveals for Soul Calibur 5 was Algol. Algol!
Oh yeah! That was one of the last reveals. Before they... But that was also like the last exciting character they had to show off in that game.
Yeah, and then like very close to release, then we learned, oh, the remaining characters, they're all mimics and different versions of Patroclus and Pyrrha.
Felix is back,
Yay.
but he's only copying the male characters now. He doesn't use his own weapon anymore. Why would you want that?
3 mimics. 3 mimics!
Soul Calibur 5 is a mistake.
I have a lot of screenshots of Azwel, holy shit.
You sure do.
Oh yeah. Character
The
artwork.
Very good artwork.
And let's see how he looked in the previous game. Oh wait.
I'm sorry, I did not include any
He
screenshots
was.
of Necrit and
I know
Algol.
where he was in the previous game. He was in Soul Blade, and if you beat the game with a Soul Edge, you have a diver in his ending, and the diver is him. I confirm this right here. I have exclusive insight.
Resolution is kind of low.
Huh.
I like the blue
That's
and red light, the lightning going up here. Like that. That's cool.
Wait,
I like that.
why has he got a lens of truth here?
There's a small skull there.
Oh.
There's a lot going on with it, this design.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Purple hair.
Yeah, and
Very
purple
purple hair.
beard.
Purple skin too, just a different shade.
Okay.
Very raw. Very mean
Shall
looking.
we move on, or do you guys want to talk more about Mr. Azwel?
I think we.
Hey
can move
guys,
on.
have you heard the professional pun?
No.
No, down,
Ow, ow,
down, down.
We're gonna have so many bad puns about Grow and Azwel
ow.
when the game is released.
Sectus, you never know.
No, this is the internet.
Okay.
We know.
Okay. Let's talk about more horrifying things like Voldo.
Oh!
What?
This
what-
was an
what-
interview they
Hey,
did with where you just had Voldo in the background.
Oh.
It was just Voldo and just Voldo doing things like Voldo things. Right here, Voldo. That's Voldo.
I wish it wasn't.
Burn it! Burn it alive! Throw it out.
Would it be better or worse if I speed this up?
It'll
I mean,
be
it'll
worse.
be over quicker if you
Don't
speed
do
it
the
up.
Please. Oh.
I think this makes it better because these guys just look more nervous now with Voldo behind them.
I mean, on a serious note, that's a great cosplay, but Voldo.
So now, as Voldo is here, we need to talk about just depressing, sad things.
Okay.
Can it get more depressing than Voldo?
Oh yes, it can. Oh, it can. So, Dualshockers had an interview with Okubo where it was two big statements. First of all, they said that the game might, well, like the game is not in development for Switch right now, but it is something they might consider doing after the game is released.
Ooh.
And then
before we move on, people are thinking that this will definitely happen because Bandai Namco is also the publisher of Dragon Ball Fighters, and that also ended up is coming to Switch.
Yep.
well, I'm going to counter that argument and say it might have a very low chance because of the other part of the interview where he said that he had a lot of difficulty convincing Namco to finish making this game because they don't have a lot of belief in the Soul Calibur IP anymore. Which, I mean, if you look at all of the previous Soul Calibur releases, I guess you can't blame them too much. There's been a lot of Soul Calibur releases which has flopped quite badly. Soul Calibur Legends, Soul Calibur 5, Lost Swords, Unbreakable Soul. The only thing is, like, Namco is kind of partially to blame for this because
exactly. They're higher ups that are going, "Hey guys, we would like a Soul Calibur game in this specific style. Can you make it?" Like they're the ones that, like with the Tira DLC, I'm again certain that's Namco pulling some strings, making them do that.
No.
Thank you, by the way, for that. That's good.
Yes, that was a good
And
move.
I have no doubt, like, same with Tekken, that also did a free-to-play. And I'm sure, again, that's because that's what Namco wanted.
Oh yeah, they had this gigantic free-to-play push which just completely flopped. I think it's pretty clear that they were just trying to go. I think they looked at the free-to-play market on like PC and smartphones, and they saw how that was exploding. They thought, okay, this is huge. We need to take advantage of this, and they just did it the worst possible way. I mean, they made almost all of those games only for PS3, a platform which has not been proven at the time to be good for free-to-play titles, and they released a fighting game with no versus mode whatsoever. Like this was doomed to fail at the very start, from the very start.
Tekken Revolution
Right.
did have that, but that had other mistakes, such as moves that just gave you infinite armor, which Tekken 7 unfortunately kept, but has kind of countered with that if you hit them low, you break them out of it, so kind of better, but
Okay,
it was
okay.
weird.
Let's break this down. Shall we be in agreement that like Legends 5 and Lost Swords were perhaps the most damaging things to the Soul Calibur brand.
Yes.
All right. Did Legends? When did Legends come out?
2007.
Yes.
Was that before 4 or
Yeah.
after 4?
4 was 2009. 4, as far as I know, did fairly well. I'm pretty sure it outsold Tekken 6, which got released the following year.
Okay, so there still should have been faith in the IP after 4 selling well then.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. Like, I know bits and pieces. For instance, after 4 they made Broken Destiny, which was a port of 4 to PSP. Very shortly after that, like, the team wanted to update 4 with the stuff they added to Broken Destiny, but what actually happened was that the team got disbanded so they could help out with other projects within Namco. And then like 1 or 2 years later they started making Soul Calibur 5, which, well, we know how that ended.
Yeah, it just feels like 5 was just where everything just failed.
Except the character creator.
The Namco's faith in the IP just died after just 5. It feels that way.
It is a little bit weird. Like, I don't know the exact sales numbers. I do know that 5 definitely didn't sell as much as 4. Like, I don't know what their expectations were. I can remember one bit, which is that they were releasing a bunch of DLC for 5, which was all just Creator Soul customization pieces.
Yeah.
And I can remember there was one patch which added a bunch of new customization pieces to the game, which was obviously DLC, and that DLC just never got released. Like, at one point they just completely stopped all support for the game, even though they had planned more. Like, it's crazy to think that they had finished DLC for the game, they just didn't release.
Sectus, is that like stuff you might be able to like dig up if you still have your mod of 360?
Well, I dug it up 6 years ago because I think I was the first one to find that unreleased DLC back in the day.
If you can find it later, I would love to see it.
I could try to dig it up. I can remember one of the pieces was like Asuka's costume from Tekken that was supposed to be part of the DLC.
What?
I think in total there was actually a ton of pieces which were never released.
Oh man, Tekken! You just reminded me of that free-to-play Tekken game that came out. That was also part of that push.
Yeah, they went crazy. They also made an Ace Combat game. They made that Rise of Incarnate for PC, which got shut down, I think, after 2 or 3 months after the release.
I played way more of Tekken Revolution than I should have. I'll confess that.
Well, to be fair, Tekken Revolution might be the best out of the free-to-play stuff they did.
Yeah, I mean we could actually play versus. Like, I played it with you.
Yeah.
Once.
Lost Sword is it is baffling everything they did with that game. It is
Please
kind of
pay
spectacular.
$80 for Song of Mina.
$90 for Song
All right,
Mina,
$90. Oh god damn.
Amy and Cassandra. They were like friendly-ish in the long run to make it so that you only had to pay $60, and they did release Amy for free. But still, it was insane. It was absurd.
Very friendly.
How did they expect people to pay the price of 2 full-price AAA games for a single character? That is
I don't know.
lunacy!
Like, everything about that game was lunacy. It also had like major technical problems, like those huge hourglasses just added so much loading time. Like, just in menus. Like, going through menus was super slow.
It gave Sonic 06 a run for its money.
Right.
If it didn't surpass it.
Soul Calibur Lost Swords is 100% entirely Namco's fault.
Yep.
I'm saying that right now. It's not our problem, Namco. You fucked up.
To me, it really just feels more and more like Namco just wants Tekken to be the only fighting game they have out there. They don't want any other. But that they just eventually gave up, like, fine, you go make it. And then they don't want to give it, like, a big budget, and they don't seem to really want to give it a lot of time. Like, it seems like they just want to dig Soul Calibur away, so Tekken is, like, the fighter for them. And while I like Tekken more than Soul Calibur, that makes me really sad. Because Soul Calibur is great, and it should absolutely be here alongside Tekken. They've been able to coexist in the past. They can coexist now.
Yeah, if they had just done things differently, I think Soul Calibur would be very popular right now. They've just done silly things like the whole thing about Soul Calibur 5. Like that game should have had more development time, and they should not have let Daishi do whatever he wanted to do with the game, which led to the 7-year skip, which made them replace a lot of iconic characters with really annoying teenagers and a lot of other stuff. They did let's fight! So many bad things with that game. I would be very curious to hear exactly what happened with Soul Calibur the last 10 years, because I can remember after Soul Calibur 5 was released, around the time they stopped supporting the game, I can remember that it was announced that the leads on Soul Calibur 5, Daishi and Tago, I think they were both either... I can't remember if they were like laid off from the company or they were just like moved to different departments. But either way, they are not working on Soul Calibur anymore. And then they got Hoshino to become the new lead of the Soul Calibur team. He was a lead programmer on the series, but he was only involved as far as I know with Lost Souls and Unbreakable Soul, and then he moved to work on the Pokken series, and he's not working on Soul Calibur 6. It's just like this entire thing just seemed weird. I would be curious to know like what exactly has been going on with the franchise the last 10 years.
Bad business, that's what's been going on.
But yeah, I guess now I can continue to talk about the interview with Okubo, which Dualshockers had.
Yeah.
I got a little fueled up about that. Sorry.
so it was mentioned there that so unless Soul Calibur 6 sells well, it's very possible this could be the last Soul Calibur game, because Namco, they have so little faith in this series anymore.
Yeah, that's just...
That has been a last game! Which is sad, because it's especially sad considering we've also had quite a bit of bad news related to the game. Like, it looks like the roster might not be very big. A lot of people are mad that Tira is on a DLC. Some features looks like it's just taken directly from Soul Calibur 5, like the Creator Soul system.
Yeah.
So I have a bad feeling there will be a lot of people complaining at launch, and I hope that won't lead to bad sales or bad reviews.
I think the reviews are going to be fine.
Another reason people are worried about the sales is because of when it's being released.
Oh, yeah.
Because do you know what else comes out in October? I mean, I know it might not seem like there's a lot of crossover with this game, but it's a huge, huge game. Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out in October.
What's that game again?
Cowboys.
Ehar?
Yep.
It's by Rockstar, GTI S game.
I don't know those guys. Never heard of them.
Oh yeah, they're a small indie developer.
I wish them the best.
But I'm hoping that the target audience is different enough that people will just be smart and go for Soul Calibur 6 and ignore that silly cowboy game.
That's what I'm at least going to do, because I'm a way bigger fighting game fan than I am open world games. So it's been an easy one for me. Like, I'll probably get Red Dead down the line, but Soul Calibur, I know I'll have more fun with this personally. Until I realize I suck and then I cry for a week.
Oh dear.
But yeah, people, if they like the idea of Soul Calibur 6, buy it! Buy it! Buy it!
Okay, listen, I'll make a public announcement right here, right now. If any of you are in Steam, and you want Soul Calibur 6 even remotely,
buy it!
I will buy you a copy. You hear that?
Buy it!
I'll buy a copy for you.
Buy it!
Buy you a copy.
Careful, more people than you might think might take you up on that offer.
I'm ready. Okay, probably not, but I'm ready.
I should have a disclaimer here. I am actually not sponsored by Namco. I just really want to see this game do well.
Neither am I, and I'm in the same boat as Sectus. I just want this to go away from this, please. No, Sectus, that doesn't work. Okay, it works. Good. Well, no, sure.
This is good enough. Yeah. We're going to say something?
I mean, I'm in the same boat. I just want this to do well. I want Soul Calibur to thrive. I want it to coexist with Tekken, which was never a problem in the past. Like, I feel like Capcom in a way, and even then, I don't even think that's on Capcom, but I'm like thinking with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, like how that turned out compared to Street Fighter V. Like the art direction and just all of his stuff in that, but I'm also like there was more and more evidence that was just Marvel and Disney that was just a pain to work with.
Yeah.
Which is very sad because that game is really fun. And I worry that Soul Calibur 6 is going to end up being really fun, but people don't buy it and it dies, and it's like you're left with this really fun game, but it no longer gets updated. I don't want that to happen again.
I hope they at least end up doing more DLC for the game, so it will be a very fully featured Soul Calibur game.
Same.
And I wanna casually...
Just please do not do what Tekken 7 did, where you have the first DLC pack all on the disc day one, and then you later release it for $12.99. Don't do that.
Huh.
They did that with Tekken Bowling and some costumes that were already in the arcade version of the game.
Oh yeah.
And that made me very mad.
Yeah, the
already...
DLC schedule for Tekken 7 has been really weird.
Yeah, next week we're finally getting Season 2. Be interesting.
Anai.
Yeah, remember when they were gonna be free?
Yeah.
It didn't last long.
I wanna officially announce that I am not part of the problem. Because I bought the game. If the game is a failure, not my fault.
This up. You rated your own purchase.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the fact that I bought the game.
I would also like to say that I am also not part of the problem. I just don't know if...
Yes, I have proof. Ice Wave is not part of the problem.
Thank you. It's also the deluxe edition. I was extra.
Yeah. You can't see that there, but that's also the thing I ordered with the season pass.
We are super kind. We want this to thrive.
So can we now say, did you do the same, Ryman? Did you support this? Do you want the game to fail, Ryman?
Ryman?
Where's your screenshot, Ryman?
50 quid is a lot of money.
Ryman, no, Ryman.
You're not
Ryman.
a double agent, are you, Ryman? Are you from Capcom? Do you see some kind of a threat?
What?
Are you from SNK?
I'll fight you, Ryman. I'll fight you.
You're on.
I'm gonna get out of the way from this one.
Yeah.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is a spectacular fight here in the podcast. We have FluffyQuack. Oh my God, he's doing well with the tag. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, the Psycho Crusher from Ryman. Oh my God.
Okay. I have one more thing I want to show here.
Okay.
I could not let Ice Wave win, so I decided to one-up him.
Uh-oh.
Now it's definitely not my fault.
Oh!
Right.
Take that, Ice Wave.
Well...
I'm winning.
Wait, does that mean you'll have 2 codes?
I'm also getting it on PS4. Which edition do I get, do you think?
I guess I'll see. But yes, as Ryman said, that does mean I own the game twice. Maybe I'll just play competitive against myself. That'll be fun. Wonder who will win.
You have 4 arms?
Yeah, sure, that's a normal thing.
It's like this.
Okay.
You also give the code to Ryman.
No, you don't have to do that.
Give it to Gar. JTech or no, JTech.
We'll see what I do with the extra code.
Yeah.
Anyway. What?
You get a fancy statue of Sophia.
Yeah, I do get that. We can zoom in to see the detail of it.
Wow, I don't think we're seeing any detail.
Very fancy.
All glorious 94p of it.
I'm a little bit sad this does not include the artwork because I want the artwork. I might end up having to spend even more money to get the artwork. Yeah.
Wait,
that's only in the North American collector's edition, not in the European.
I'm gonna go find Namco. Hang on. What is this I heard about the artwork?
No.
Oh,
okay.
They ran away.
Shall we stop talking about super depressing things like Soul Calibur 6 potentially being the last game ever?
Please.
Sure. Yeah. Let's move on to something better.
Let's go back to this whole thing.
Oh, the lizard man.
Hello, lizard.
Lizard man. So we talked about this in one of the previous podcasts where we said that, yeah, this pose looks kinda like Sophia's pose.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So someone on the forum looked more into this and had an interesting theory and made me feel a little bit stupid because we should have looked a little bit more at this. The block animation, because I included a screenshot of Soul Calibur 4, but I included a pretty bad one. So I made a new one where he's flipped, so he looks like it's the same similar angle as this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this.
Oh.
Huh.
So this is Sophia. Lizzie. Soul Calibur 6 Lizzie.
Oh.
So you can note the right arm, lower than the shield, lower than the shield, same level as the shield.
Just wish it wasn't flipping through the shield.
Yeah.
If only we had a screenshot of Sophia's Soul Calibur 6 blocking animation.
I don't have it included here, but it is the same as this.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, like, it doesn't seem exactly the same as 4 either, because I feel like the shield is even higher up there, but
it's a little lowered. But maybe, and at the same time, it's like he feels shorter here. Like he seems a little shorter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's because the camera is just more zoomed in 4.
The camera is a little bit higher up here, I feel, compared to 4. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But either way, this animation is definitely closer to this than Sophia's block animation. I think there's no doubt about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that guy had a theory, which could be right, which is about this. Like, maybe this is not the idol. The thing is, like, in the trailer, this is the starting frame where you see this man, and then he starts going into this animation where he's blocking.
Yeah.
So maybe this is not his idol, but this is the end of one of his attacks. And since he has a bunch of moves which are originally from Sophia, it makes sense that he would occasionally end in an animation which looks like Sophia's idol.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. I think Tekken has had that in the past as well with Anna and Nina. Like some moves that Anna did in Tekken 3 had her like briefly in Nina's idol animation. Like you could catch a glimpse of it before she just like defaulted to how she usually stands. I think it's Anna at least. It might be some other character I'm thinking about.
We hope you've enjoyed this daily dose of Soul Calibur science.
Yes.
But yeah, I wish we had a perfect answer to this, because there's also the fact that he is right-handed here, but Lizard Man is supposed to be left-handed, as you can tell by this screenshot, which is mirrored.
Yeah.
So that is another thing, which is where. Then again, he was actually right-handed back in Soul Calibur 1. So maybe they tried to be more like his Soul Calibur 1 Lizard Man, but that's also a weird thing to be closer, because back then he was more or less just a clone of Sophia, unless I'm mistaken.
I'm not well versed in Soul Calibur 1 at all, unfortunately. That's like the one entry I haven't played.
I know that certain characters in that are very, very clone-like. Like Siegfried and Nightmare are basically clones. Wang and Xianghua, they're also basically clones in that game. They have very few unique moves. Okay, so now we can go back to Azwel.
Okay.
Might as well.
Azwel.
Right, so yeah, what characters on this list have not been revealed?
These two.
Just those two.
Well, I guess technically Inferno also hasn't.
I have a hunch he's
Inferno
not going to
was
get a trailer.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh.
This is Inferno.
I forgot about that.
Soul Edge, Inferno.
Hello, I am Inferno.
Hi, guys.
Hello, party.
So yeah, so we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and now this is like, this has to be true, because who the hell would just randomly guess the name Azwel a couple of months before it's announced? Like, there's no chance. So I decided to like try to dig deep into this, and I dug up the.
They also guessed Terra.
Yeah, and she was not specified as DLC. She was just listed as part of the best sources. So I don't know if what that's supposed to imply. But I decided to dig up the relevant 4chan threads and like look more closer to dig up all the posts written by whoever posted stuff like this. And I found a lot of stuff I didn't originally find. So first of all, it turns out there are two different guys leaking stuff. I thought it was there was just one guy, but it turns out there's been two guys who's been leaking stuff about Soul Calibur 6.
Okay.
So the first guy is the guy to first mention the name Azwel, and he didn't have many posts overall. And he said that he's worked on the localization for the game, and he posted a list of characters which is a little bit different than this.
Okay.
It is identical, except that he did not point out Inferno, and he pointed out Huang and Lizardman. But he also said that he's not certain if Huang is actually playable because he could not find a narrative string for him. And then we have this other guy who posted this list a month later. And this guy posted a lot. He's posted a ton of details about Liber of Souls mode way before it was announced. He posted a lot of specific details about the evil wizard dude, which I think he just called like evil wizard guy. But yeah, it's pretty clear. Both of these two leakers, they were legit. They were leaking stuff. Like they knew stuff about the game. So the second guy, he never mentioned Huang ever. He did mention Lizardman in a post where he said that you can create a Lizardman character in Creator Soul, which we've seen from the recent trailer, but he said that Lizardman is not playable. Like the whole question about Lizardman is just more and more confusing now. And there's also thing about Huang. Is Huang in the game?
I mean,
yeah, because if we look at this list, like, there's no one using that curved sword moveset.
Yeah, it would be very, very, very surprising to see it skip a game yet again. Like that was not in 5 either.
And it was very missed. I actually really missed having that fighting style around.
So to summarize, Cervantes and Rafael, I think, are 100% completely locked. We will definitely see both of them announced for the game.
Yes.
And then Huang, like, I don't know, like, the first guy was uncertain if he's in, the second guy never mentioned Huang, and Lizardman also. First guy did think he's in, and the second guy says he's not playable, and then we have the screenshots, well, the stuff from the video where we're not even sure, like, is that proper Lizardman?
Maybe just some random goon they have around.
So there's a couple of interesting bits and pieces from the leaks that I might as well mention here. There are side quests in Liber of Souls mode where you get XP and money and fan service cameo stuff as rewards. I'm not sure exactly what that would mean. He did mention
depends what definition of fan service there is.
Yeah, there are very different terms. Like one that just gives you a lot of like classic stuff, and the other one that goes, oh wow.
He did mention that in part of the game you meet Talim's old sister. I think he referenced that when he was talking about fan service cameo stuff. So it might just be talking about like seeing more characters part of the lore.
I think that could still be taken the other way as well.
Yeah, it's so Calibur. I mean, remember how 5 was advertised in Japan?
And it was mentioned. I'm going to quickly randomly change to this. We can look at this instead. It was randomly mentioned that Inferno is unlocked by beating the story mode, and he is a mimic in Soul Calibur 6.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Looking through my notes, it's mentioned that that Cassandra has a cameo in one of the cutscenes for Sophita's story mode, but she's not playable.
Oh. That's just rude.
So I find one thing interesting, which that these two leakers, they don't say anything whatsoever about DLC. It sounds like they had no idea what DLC was planned for the game, even though they both knew about Tira. I think there's a big chance that Tira was always supposed to be part of the base roster, but they just maybe very late decided, hey, we should just make it one day DLC instead.
I think it was yesterday. I can't find the tweet right now, but it's from the lady who's been interviewing Okubo for the last couple of times, and basically, I think you mentioned something along the lines that Tira was, because she was so heavily requested, they wanted to put her in the base roster, but then Namco was like, no, you make her DLC.
Yeah, there was a couple of interviews where they said something along those lines. I just can't, like, I'm kind of concerned, like, is that just PR speak? Because there was another interview where they said that there was no way they could add tier to the base roster because they started developing her very, very late, and and they said that they're now using these 2 months before release to finish developing her. I just can't tell if that's just PR speak and a little bit of a small lie to make the situation look better.
I feel like, I don't know, there's just something about what Okubo that I just find sincere, but I think that might also be because, the man took on the project, after it was just lost in limbo.
I think he's generally truthful, sincere, and honest, but he has definitely lied now and then. For instance, in a recent interview with Kaine, he said that the team doesn't know if the season pass will have a guest character. That's a lie.
Oh.
They know everything about the season pass. They definitely have that fully planned out. I think that's just PR speak.
Okay.
But yeah, these 2 leakers, they haven't said anything about DLC, but we do have that Virgin guy who has been leaking stuff, and he's said stuff which has turned out to be very right and sometimes kind of wrong, and he clarified a lot of stuff he said recently. It seemed like he tried to be a little bit more honest and exact about the stuff he has based his leaks on.
Okay.
So he said the reason why he originally thought that Cassandra would be DLC in this game is because that he heard that Namco had recorded voice lines for her. But now, since the other leak said that she has a small role in story mode cutscenes, it sounds like that is what they recorded her for.
Ah.
Huh.
And in regards to DLC, he said that he had heard a long time ago that Namco originally planned, the dev team originally planned to have somewhere between 7 to 10 DLC characters for the game, but that was reduced to what we're getting in the season pass.
Oh, okay. Don't go near the number that Blast Blue Tag Team did, where they had 20 characters as DLC. Please don't do that.
And he said that he's heard that a character they intended to release as DLC is Hilda, and also that Amy or Viola was likely to be DLC.
Hilda!
But then again, I think he said that this is all stuff he heard a very long time ago. I think he might have been implying that the stuff he heard about Hilda and Amy or Viola was around the time they were considering to have 7 to 10 DLC characters in the game.
Oh well.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Why is she behind everyone? There we go. We don't need Ivy.
She's overrated anyway.
Anything else like this?
One last thing. Virgin also said that his source said that he thinks there will be a lot of people complaining about Grow and Ivy around launch because they might be a little bit overpowered.
Oh.
That's a promising sign.
But yeah, that's it for the leaky.
Okay, so it's pretty certain that Cervantes and Raphael are the last 2 base characters. So my question to you guys is, who do you think is going to get their trailer first?
Raphael. No, wait, Cervantes, because they showed off his moveset without a care in the world.
I kind of feel like since they've teased him so heavily, I think Cervantes is around the corner finally.
So you think Raphael's going to be the last character that revealed before the game comes out?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so if we look at this, do we think that this roster is supposed to have DLC characters on it? Like this screen?
Yeah, that's a big question mark.
And also, where's Inferno? Is he supposed to be an ordinary slot? Is he maybe supposed to be the middle slot?
I feel like he should be in the middle because he's the mimic, so it makes sense to slap him in the middle.
Yeah, kind of.
At the same time, Azwel could make sense there.
I don't know. I mean, if you look back at certain other games, I feel like they've had several games where the boss has actually just filled a normal slot, like in 4 Algol, which is a random slot, which was blank until you unlocked him.
Yeah, he was just at the bottom right.
I want to say it was the same with like Inferno and Soul Calibur 2.
He wasn't playable in 2.
He wasn't?
No, you could only play as him.
It was Charade was the mimic in that. Oh yeah, you're right,
Yep.
you're right.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone's favorite.
And 3 where, well, Night Terror wasn't playable in 3. But yeah, I don't know, I don't know where Inferno would be.
At least if I decided, I would say middle because it just makes the most sense to me to place him. Because he's the mimic, he can mimic every character. So it just makes perfect sense. Especially because you have like those little like small pointy arrows out from it.
But I feel like it's...
Whoa, doggy,
Oh,
Jesus
oh,
Christ.
Jesus. I feel like it's difficult to find like a perfect setup for this because, for instance, let's say that Inferno is in the middle. Let's say this is Azwel, this is Kratos Soul. Then we have the leaked roster, but who's this? It could be Huang or Listman, I don't know, but... Or maybe Kratos Soul is selected another way, and maybe Lizardman and Huang are actually in the game after all. Maybe Inferno isn't in the middle, he's just a random slot. I don't know. Maybe Tira isn't part of this because she's still C. Like there are variants of this we could consider. I mean, there's also the super negative theory that 3 of these slots are actually DLC, like something like this. Where these are now the DLC
don't
characters.
have that on your launch roster. Don't. That'll make you look so bad.
Like this would be by far the worst case scenario because the roster wouldn't be very big at all.
I would hate looking at this. Also, sorry about the barking.
Yeah, because there's no prompt on the screens, like say for like switching to like a page at a second page of characters. No,
and also I don't think they would have that unless they have a ton of more characters to announce, which is not the case. And another question is, like, what are these buttons supposed to represent? There's one here, and there's also one here, which is currently covered by the color selection menu.
I'm not sure I've called this a button.
Might not be a button, but they stand out, and they were added rather late in development.
I think it's
maybe when you have DLC, you can like click on it and it like has a little square box with the DLC characters in it.
That's true, but surely DLC characters would have their own slots, wouldn't they?
I think you're reading too much into this. I think it's just a visual thing.
Yeah, I think that's a big possibility as well. It's a visual weird design. It does really stand out though. It also animates.
It animates.
Yeah, like it spins a little bit around.
It's adorable.
Spin.
And yeah, that could. I only see 2 possible explanations for this massive gap in the center. Either it's also just a weird visual thing, or considering the design and the background, having Azwel in the middle here kind of sort of makes sense.
I don't know. Like, I feel like Inferno stands out more. Like Azwel is more of a normal character, while Inferno is just a mimic.
Plus, Inferno has like legacy in the franchise.
Yeah, I feel like Azwel is his design more like Algol, that he is technically a boss, but he's also just a normal part of the roster.
Hello, I'm Azwel.
I guess we'll see which one of us is right come October 19th.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope this variant isn't the true one because that'll.
I am gonna go sleep until it's October. Bye bye.
Okay.
I'm gonna quickly look at this super quickly, quick. Because based on the recent screenshots, we know that Azwel is definitely part of this.
Yes.
So I'm starting to feel more good about, this is the selection of characters with storylines at launch.
Yeah.
And then Tira will be added as DLC.
I think it's a good size. I'll say that much, but I do wish there was a bit more to it. But I still think they at least, for the most part, like picked the characters you would really want to see. Except for
it is basically like the leaked roster, except Inferno. Except Inferno.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it'll be interesting to see how it turns out if Huang or Lizman are part of the DLC. I mean, part of the roster in any way. There's also a chance they could be DLC, which would make me sad because that means other characters would be DLC.
Yeah.
I super hope the game sells well enough for them to release more DLC for the game.
And also just really to secure Soul Calibur's survival.
I feel like it might also be worth mentioning that if we look at Tekken 7, people got mad, a little bit mad at launch when they realized, oh hey, there's no Anna, there's no Lei, and
there's no Julia, there's no Bruce.
I feel like Anna was the character people may have complained the most about.
Anna and Lei were definitely the.
Either way, I can remember a lot of people tweeted to her that, hey, we want Anna, we want Lei, we want Anna, we want Anna, we want Lei, we want Lei. And lo and behold, 1 year later, it happened. So I feel like they are listening. And one idea might be to just casually walk over to Okubo's Twitter and then say a word or two, but say it in a nice way. Don't be rude. Like, a lot of people were rude to Harda when they asked about what character they wanted, and that's just mean. Don't be rude.
Yeah, don't be mean. Don't be that.
But if you feel like it, you could go ahead and say something like, "Hello, Mr. Okubo-san. I love you. You're a cool guy. You make cool games. I like you very much. Please add Cassandra
Where
to
Hilde
Soccer
at,
6.
yo?
Goodbye."
Where Hilde be at, yo?
No. Specifically mention Cassandra. Cassandra every single time. That's the most polite request, I swear.
But Sectus.
I'll fight you. I'll fight you.
Psycho Crusher. I'm good. I'll be back. Whoa. Oh.
Okay. But yeah, I think now I've run out of notes and everything to say about
Cassandra and Hilde for DLC, please. I want them. I really want Hilde, especially. I want her.
I would be okay with those two as DLC characters. I'd be very
excellent picks. I mean, I'm happy Sean was here, but I also want Hilde. I'm bad at her, but she is so much fun. She's a cool character, and I love her design.
I wish I was good with Hilde. I wouldn't mind Hilde returning and then doing big changes to the movesets I would like playing as more, because I like her style, like her visual design, but I'm not a huge fan of her moveset.
They could simplify it a little bit, maybe. Like, simplify it to the point where there's still depth to it, but where it's maybe not too much of like, oh, what do I do here? What is this character? What is moves?
I just want the whole charge mechanic to be reworked, because I just always find that awkward to do whenever I play this.
Yeah, that wasn't the best.
But yeah, any last words on Azwel, Voldo?
No,
leaks?
But I'm
all right, so before we wrap this up, so you guys, we discussed it earlier. You think Cervantes will be revealed next?
Yes.
I think it's a big chance. Yeah.
When? Before or during TGS?
I would say during. So they have something to show.
So whenever there aren't any events, they follow the pattern of doing one character announcement every 2 weeks.
Right.
So they announce a lot this week with the Gamescom, well, previous week. So
yeah.
I guess the next possible announcement could be the 6th of September. When is TGS again?
I want to say 20th.
Yeah, I could see one character being announced 1.5 weeks from now. Maybe that's Cervantes, and then another.
You're correct, Redman. You're correct.
Then the next info dump will definitely be at TGS. Well, I'll probably do a bigger announcement. Maybe show more about online modes. And then there aren't many weeks left before the game's released.
Yeah.
Nope. We're inching closer and closer to finally having it in our hands.
And maybe TGS will quite simply reveal the rest of the base roster.
That could also happen, yeah.
Yeah, they need to stay away from revealing any DLC at this rate, because that Terra thing did not go over well.
I am super curious though. Like, I really want to know what the season pass characters are. Super curious.
Yeah, I would also love to know it. That's one thing I like about Capcom with Street Fighter V. Like, they'll let you know, hey, you're getting these characters in the game. Well, they didn't do it for Season 2, but they did it for Season 3 again, which was nice.
Oh boy.
It's a weird thing to say. Like, 10 years ago, I don't think I would say this, that I want more DLC, but this is the only way we can have more characters.
I want more DLC when it's done right. That's my stance. and fighting games usually do it right. It's just the pricing that can be iffy. That's what they gotta nail.
Yeah.
More characters.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite did not nail it that well. They wanted $77.99 per character.
Do you remember the DLC for Street Fighter X Tekken?
Yes, I remember those 12 characters that were on the disc day one.
Yes. That was...
Lars, Alyssa, Lei, Christy, Jack, X, for some reason.
That is the most absurd case of DLC I've seen in my entire life. You can also add the fact that Pac-Man and...
Mega Man. Well,
yeah,
quotation marks Mega Man.
Yeah, those two, they were on disc for all platforms, but only ever released for the PS3.
Yep.
It's such a bizarre situation. So weird.
It killed that game. It absolutely destroyed it.
The gems didn't help either.
Yeah. And the timer that they refused to tweak, even though people kept bringing it up. They were like, "Nah, we're not going to tweak it. Nah, we don't."
Gems.
I still do like the game though, but I bought it like for sale for like the full pack on sale when it was like really cheap. But yeah, that was bad.
Very bad, very bad.
Luckily, they kind of went back into that with Marvel Infinite again, but I feel like again that might have been Disney influence. With how like they reveal like a story trailer, I think it was like 6 months before the game was out. They were like, "Oh, by the way, here's the season pass in Sigma, and here's his model, and he's in the story as well." It was kind of like, "Oh, okay." And then Monster Hunter was in the story, and Black Panther was in the story.
Now, we all know the real reason Infinite failed. No X-Men.
That too. And no Jill Valentine.
Berserker Barrage!
Berserker Barrage!
I just want to summarize...
What happened with Jill here? Like, what happened there? Why wasn't she in it?
I have no idea. There were quite a few characters missing overall, weren't there?
Yeah, there was a lot missing. It was weird, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Soul Calibur.
I just want to summarize one final time that what we can expect now. Cervantes and Rafael will definitely be announced. Huang, Lizardman, both huge maybes.
Yeah.
And then we know Tira is one of the DLC characters, and then we have 3 unknown DLC characters, one of them heavily hinted to be a guest character. And that's
which
information we know
I would
now.
love to see B2B from New Automata. It would just be such a perfect fit.
I think it should be a guest character from a franchise called Soul Calibur, and they could add this character called Kazan. I'll be okay with
that. But this game is called Soul Calibur.
I'll fight you! I'll fight you!
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, you know, that actually reminds me of like a thread discussing the possibility of Soul Calibur 6 on the Switch. And of course you had the usual people saying, "Oh my god, Link, 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 Link." But however, I think I secretly found Icewave's secret reset era account because someone was asking for Lucina.
La 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 la.
I feel like
neither
it's
deny nor confirm this.
I feel like it's pretty safe to say that if they do release a Switch version of this game, they'll definitely add Link as guest character. That just makes too much sense.
And it will be Breath of the Wild Link. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's like the big thing at the moment now. Like even Smash Brothers got to that design now.
Yep.
Is that it for everything we want to say about everything ever?
I do not have any more to add, at least.
I have nothing more to add.
Oh, I have one thing to add. I have a DLC idea.
Okay.
I want them to release Edge of Soul from Soul Blade as a purchasable music track.
Yes, and intro.
Exactly.
Not the same
HD remaster it or something.
Yes.
Gotta get the edge of soul.
Oh my god, I have another thing I want to say.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my god, this is the biggest thing. I don't think I mentioned this in one of the previous podcasts, did I?
Well,
go on and we'll let you know.
So I was randomly reading through the Soul Calibur 5 art book. I think I mentioned that, but I didn't mention one thing I discovered.
Okay.
There's one bit where they just talk about the events of Soul Edge, and they have an image of the intro. And that made me curious. Like, I immediately hurried, panicked to look at the intro, and I noticed that one image in the artwork is at much higher resolution than the original intro.
Huh.
So Namco is just sitting on like a high quality version of their intro. Why are they not releasing it?
Wait, hang on a second.
Have I mentioned this during a podcast? I have talked about
no,
this. I just can't remember if I mentioned
not
this during a podcast.
Recall that.
Okay. What?
So doesn't Tekken 7 include like all the intros in the previous games?
Yeah, they're all cut in, but I think they're at the same quality as the original versions. I think I'm not.
That is correct.
Sure. Okay.
That is very correct.
That could be.
Some are even worse than they should be, which is sad. Like Tekken 4 never looked that pixelated.
Oh, yeah. Although. Oh, I just realized. They either wouldn't be able to include the Soul Calibur 1 intro, or they'd have to record it as a video because that wasn't a pre-rendered video; it was rendered in game.
Oh yeah.
If they were to include all the intros in the previous games.
Yeah, there wouldn't be that many intros if they could add. It would be Soul Edge, Soul Calibur 2, and Soul Calibur 3. Those are the only pre-rendered intros in the series. Well,
oh really?
I guess you could also count 5, but that intro is using in-game assets and it lasts like 10 seconds.
Well, that's sad.
But yeah, they could add stuff like that.
Carry on.
If they go with that, they should also add the Tekken jukebox thing for Tekken 7, but in this case add it to all platforms rather than PS4 only.
Yes.
Oh.
That was a very silly thing because that feature sounded super cool, but was only on one platform.
That feature is literally the highlight of Tekken 7 for me.
Confrontation!
Like, as a guy who likes some tracks in 7, but dislikes most of them because some of them are way too woo 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 woo.
There's too much.
It was a blessing.
There's just too much wub wub in general.
Yeah, Tekken 7 just went too far for my taste.
Tekken 7 is confusing. There's some tracks I think are absolutely amazing in that game, and then you have the wub wub that I just can't stand.
Infinite Azure is fantastic. That's my favorite.
Basically everything which Ryo Hamamoto made. That's his name. Like he makes so much good music. He also made music for Soul Calibur games. He made like Guided by Wind in Soul Calibur 2. Really good track.
Ooh, that was a good track.
Oh, is that the one that's like do 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 do?
Yeah, I think that is the one.
I think so.
I was alright with that one. Of course, you know which one of my favorites.
Confrontation.
Yes.
Wow.
I have the Patriot.
How did I guess? We could easily have a podcast where we just like go through our favorite tracks in the series. There's a lot of good music.
We should have a podcast about that.
Oh boy.
I'd be up for that. I would be very much okay with that.
I think my contribution would be quite short because I'd just be, confrontation.
Well, you could judge the music we show off from other games.
Yeah,
that's true.
You could just have a bunch of fighting games like we'd include like Street Fighter.
No. Only Soul Calibur.
Only Soul Calibur. Okay.
Other fighting games, they don't exist.
Oh, okay.
They don't exist.
But Sectus, I have a lot of fighting games in my collection.
Wow.
And some of them are not called Soul Calibur.
If Soul Calibur 6 is a failure, then the entire genre is a failure. They failed.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think we're officially done.
Yeah, we got nothing here.
Talk with you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. I don't know why I'm upside down.